The internet erupted last night, hashtags exploded, fan pages crashed, and millions of hearts skipped a beat. Why? Because an unexpected, unbelievable, and heart-stopping moment between Wang Yibo and Zhan was caught on camera, a kiss that no one saw coming, but everyone has been talking about non-stop. It all began at an exclusive after-party in Shanghai. The event was elegant, bathed in soft amber light, music humming in the background, and China's biggest stars mingling freely. Cameras were rolling quietly for a behind-the-scenes documentary, but what they captured turned into the most talked-about moment of the year. Zhan stood by the balcony, his usual calm and poised expression lit up by the city's glow. Wang Yibo approached him from behind, playful, unpredictable, and a little mischievous. The two shared a quiet conversation, laughing in that familiar, comfortable way only people who share a deep bond can. For a second, the world felt silent, like everyone watching that clip could feel the gravity of the connection between them. Then, in a heartbeat, the moment that froze the internet happened. Wang Yibo leaned forward, words barely audible, and gently kissed Zhan. It wasn't staged, it wasn't rehearsed, it was raw, real, and filled with emotion. Zhan's eyes widened, then softened in surprise. The clip lasted less than 5 seconds, but it was powerful enough to send shockwaves through every social media platform imaginable. Fans were torn between disbelief and wild excitement. Did that really just happen? Was it part of a scene? Or was that genuine affection? The video spread like wildfire, retweeted, re-uploaded, and slowed down frame by fans determined to uncover every tiny detail. You could see Zhan's hand briefly touch Yibo's arm, a silent acknowledgement that made the moment even more intense. Within hours, hashtags like #Yibo kissed Zhan, #caught on camera, and #unscripted love dominated Weibo and Twitter. In less than 24 hours, the clip hit over 50 million views, with fans across the world reacting in every language possible. The global fandom had officially lost its mind. The chemistry between Wang Yibo and Zhan had always been undeniable. From their days filming The Untamed to countless interviews where subtle glances spoke louder than words, the two have shared a connection that fans often describe as electric. But no one expected that connection to manifest so openly, especially in a setting surrounded by cameras. Insiders who attended the after-party claimed the moment wasn't planned. One anonymous source revealed. They were just talking quietly. It looked natural, like they forgot anyone else was there. Then it happened. The whole room went silent for a moment, and even the photographers didn't move. Everyone was stunned. Another eyewitness said, "You could feel something shift in the air. It wasn't a publicity stunt, it was two people caught in a real, vulnerable moment." Speculation ran wild. Some argued it was part of a secret project, maybe an upcoming film or campaign. Others believed it was a genuine display of affection, a rare glimpse into a private bond that has always been just out of public reach. What makes the story even more mind-blowing is how both Yibo and Zhan handled the aftermath. Instead of rushing to deny or clarify, both remained silent. Their silence spoke volumes. Fans interpreted it as calm acceptance, like they had no intention of explaining away something so pure. The next day, paparazzi followed their every move. Wang Yibo was spotted arriving at a dance studio, visibly calm and collected, his usual stoic demeanor intact. Zhan, on the other hand, was seen leaving his management building, looking contemplative but not distressed. Neither looked shaken, if anything, they seemed at peace. Social media analysts pointed out something fascinating. Unlike past celebrity controversies, the online reaction wasn't filled with hate, it was filled with awe. Thousands of comments flooded in, celebrating the moment as a symbol of authenticity and bravery. This wasn't scandal, it was art. Two souls who can't hide their connection anymore. You can't fake that kind of emotion. Artists and fan editors immediately began creating montages and cinematic edits of the clip, adding soft piano music, slow motion effects, and emotional quotes. Within a day, YouTube and Bilibili were overflowing with compilations titled things like "When Yibo Couldn't Hide It Anymore" or "The Kiss That Changed Everything." But perhaps the most striking scene came from a leaked snippet of behind-the-scenes footage. In it, after the kiss, Yibo softly laughed, a shy, nervous laugh that fans had never seen before, and Zhan gently smiled, whispering something inaudible. They both looked happy. It was the kind of happiness that words fail to describe, the kind that only shows when two people finally let their walls fall. The industry went silent. Neither of their agencies issued a statement for over a week. Entertainment journalists tried to get quotes, but no one wanted to touch the story. It was too powerful, too sensitive. In a world where image and reputation mean everything, Yibo and Zhan's quiet defiance felt almost revolutionary. And then came the shocker. A week later, during an event in Beijing, a reporter bravely asked Wang about the clip. The crowd held its breath. He smiled faintly and said just one sentence. Sometimes, real moments don't need an explanation. The room erupted. That one line sent fans into a frenzy. It wasn't confirmation. It wasn't denial. It was something even deeper, it was acknowledgement. Zhan later posted on Weibo with a cryptic message that simply read, "Some things are felt, not said." That was all it took. The fandom officially melted. What makes this moment so iconic isn't just the kiss itself, it's what it represents. It's a reminder that even under the blinding lights of fame, real emotion can't be scripted. It sneaks out when no one expects it, and when it does, it leaves a mark that lasts forever. Every fan, every viewer who saw that moment, felt it in their chest, the authenticity, the courage, and the unspoken tenderness. It wasn't just two celebrities, it was two human beings caught in a rare, magical instant of truth. The world has seen many celebrity moments, but this one will go down in history as the 5 seconds that changed everything. Because whether it was love, friendship, or something deeper, what Wang and Zhan shared that night was real. And real moments, they don't fade. They echo. So as the clip continues to dominate the internet, one thing remains certain: no matter how many times you watch it, you can't help but feel something stir inside. It's more than a kiss. It's a story. A connection. A spark that reminds everyone watching that sometimes, even behind the camera's lens, the heart can't hide forever. And that, dear viewers, is why this will remain one of the most unforgettable moments in entertainment history. The night might have ended in Shanghai, but the echoes of that one stolen moment between Wang and Zhan continued to ripple across the entire world. Every second of that clip was replayed, zoomed in, analyzed frame by frame. Fans wanted to feel every heartbeat, every breath, every spark that existed in those 5 unforgettable seconds. The clip opened softly, almost dreamlike. Yibo leaned closer to Zhan, the city lights dancing across their faces like liquid gold. The camera angle was slightly tilted, almost as if fate itself had adjusted the lens just to capture that moment of raw truth. Zhan's eyes were soft, full of unspoken words, while Yibo's expression carried a mixture of daring confidence and quiet tenderness. When their lips met, it wasn't just a kiss, it was an explosion of emotion disguised as silence. You could hear the faint hum of music from inside the venue, the soft rush of the city outside, and then that delicate pause, that instant when time seemed to freeze. Every sound faded, every heartbeat aligned. It was as if the universe itself wanted to remember this moment forever. And just when you thought it couldn't get more cinematic, Zhan smiled. Not his usual charming, fan-pleasing smile, but something different. It was fragile, genuine, full of something unspoken. Wang ever the mystery, looked down shyly for a split second, and that split second drove the entire fandom wild. The internet couldn't contain it. By dawn, the video was everywhere. Edits flooded TikTok and Bilibili, turning that single kiss into 1,000 different versions, some set to dramatic piano, others to love ballads, and a few to complete silence, because words simply weren't enough. But behind all the digital noise, something else was happening, the real story. People who had been at the event started revealing what they saw after the cameras cut off. One insider said, "After that moment, Yibo didn't even flinch. He just stayed close to Zhan, whispering something that made Xiao laugh. It wasn't awkward, it was comfortable. Like two people who'd finally said what they'd been hiding." Another person who worked on the event's lighting crew mentioned, "They looked at each other like they'd forgotten the world. You could tell that wasn't acting. It was emotion. Pure, Genuine emotion. Backstage, the air was electric. You could feel the tension between excitement and disbelief. Some staff members pretended not to have seen anything, while others secretly watched the replay on their phones, whispering, "Was that real?" As the night faded into morning, paparazzi surrounded the hotel entrance, waiting to capture something, a glance, a gesture, anything. And just before dawn, Wang was seen leaving first, cap pulled low, his usual expression unreadable. Minutes later, Zhan exited quietly through a different door, his assistant shielding him from the flash of cameras. But even through the crowd, one thing was visible, the faintest smile playing on Zhan's lips. That smile said everything fans wanted to believe. Online, the reactions were explosive. "This isn't a rumor, this is history. You can't fake that kind of chemistry. 5 seconds of truth, 5 seconds that changed everything." The fandom split into two camps, those who believed it was a planned scene for an upcoming project, and those who swore it was something deeper, something real. But no matter the theory, everyone agreed on one thing: the chemistry between them was undeniable. Fans even started recreating the moment, standing in front of neon-lit balconies, mimicking that same quiet closeness, that same sense of unspoken electricity. It wasn't just a viral trend, it was an emotional movement. What made it even more intense was that neither of them said a word. No denials. No explanations. Just silence. And sometimes, silence speaks louder than 1,000 statements. Days passed, yet the footage refused to die down. News outlets tried to reach their agencies for a response, but none came. Instead, the agencies released unrelated promotional posts, as if pretending nothing had happened, but fans weren't fooled. In one fan-captured clip, Zhan was seen arriving at a recording studio days later. When a fan shouted, "We saw the video," he just smiled a knowing, teasing smile and waved before disappearing inside. That single smile reignited the storm all over again. Then came the moment no one expected. During a live fan event, Yibo was asked by a bold fan, "What do you think about that viral video?" The crowd fell silent. Yibo looked up, a mischievous spark in his eyes, and replied, "Some moments are meant to be seen." The audience screamed. Social media broke again. It wasn't a confirmation, but it wasn't a denial either. It was Wang, being his cryptic, cool self, leaving fans hanging between reality and fantasy. Zhan, ever the calm and graceful one, responded days later with a post on Weibo that simply read, "The truth is sometimes simpler than the stories people tell." Those words hit harder than any interview could. It felt like the two were having a silent conversation through their posts, one that only they could fully understand. Behind the glamour, behind the frenzy, there was something hauntingly beautiful about the entire situation. Two stars, bound by fame, watched by millions, yet caught in a moment that felt too human, too tender for the world they lived in. People began writing fan letters not just to fangirl over them, but to thank them for showing something real in a world full of scripted perfection. That kiss, one letter read, reminded us that love, no matter what form it takes, is still the most beautiful thing to witness. As the world continues to spin and social media moves to the next big trend, this moment remains immortal, frozen in pixels, replayed in slow motion, etched in the hearts of millions. Because that night in Shanghai wasn't just a scene, it was a confession. And no matter how many times you watch it, that spark never fades. It's the kind of connection that transcends words, the kind of chemistry that makes people believe in something bigger than gossip or fame. For Yibo and Zhan, it might have been just one night, but for the fans, it became a story that would be told again and again. Because sometimes, a single kiss isn't just about romance. Sometimes, it's about truth. About being seen. About breaking the wall between what's real and what's imagined. And for those who saw it live, or caught it replaying across screens, it was pure magic. So, what do you think? Was it fate? Was it courage? Or was it simply love slipping through the cracks of stardom for one fleeting moment? Whatever it was, one thing's for sure, the world will never forget the night Wang Yibo kissed Zhan. If you loved this story and want more breathtaking celebrity moments, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more shocking updates and captivating tales that will keep you on the edge of your seat.